It's easy to love boxing if you're Lennox Lewis or Roy Jones. It's easy to love the sport if you're one of the best in the world and it's made you rich. But what if you're Brad Rone? In more than a decade as a pro boxer, Rone fought 52 times. Of those 52 fights, he won 7. A typical purse was $2,000. But no one ever loved boxing more than Brad Rone.
Boxing was it for him. As long as I don't even think he cared about the wins and the losses. It was just the joy of being in that ring and boxing. He loved it. He loved it so much.
And boxing loved Rone, despite his record. True, he was a 34-year-old journeyman, but it was a journey he relished.
Of all the fighters I've been with, the majority of them, 90% when I say, I got this guy this fight, and they would say, is he right-handed, left-handed, how tall is he? Bradley would just say, when are we leaving?
As much as Brad Rone loved boxing, Thelma Rone hated it. Of her son's 52 fights, she attended none.
She said, something bad could happen. You could get hit the wrong way, or you just could get hit in the head enough times that caused you brain damage. And she always focused on the negative things, what could happen to her son in that ring.
She never set foot in a ring, but like her son, Thelma could take a punch. A single mother, she raised 10 children, working multiple jobs to provide for them.
It was pretty tough because we weren't a wealthy family, and she was our mother and our father. It was pretty tough, but we never went without anything.
On July 17th, Thelma died suddenly of heart failure. She was 66. For her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, the news was devastating, especially for her son Brad, 2,000 miles away in Las Vegas. It was almost more than he could bear.
He was crying. He had the phone. His brother was on the phone from New York, Reggie. And I was saying, what's wrong? What happened? And he couldn't talk to me because he was so upset because he loved his mother so much.
He loved his mother more than life. Loved his mother unconditionally. I can't even describe how much my little brother loved his mother.
The day after his mother died, Rone, seeking solace, called Richard Steele, the renowned referee who also ran the gym where Rone trained.
And we talked and we prayed, and then he says to me, he said, okay, I got to get ready to get out of here. I thought his meaning was get out of here to go to the funeral, to go and take care of it. I didn't know he was going to fight.
But he was going to fight in Cedar City, Utah. 6 rounds against Billy Zumbrin, to whom he'd lost unanimous decision 3 weeks earlier. The match was made only a few hours after Rone learned of his mother's death. He planned to use the $800 purse to help pay for her funeral.
He just said, I want to make some money to help, which, I took it as he wanted to help for the funeral expenses, whatever he could do. Because, he wasn't a rich guy, he wasn't poor, but Brad had pride, and that's one thing you can't buy.
The reason he told me to the fight, because his mother's never seen him fight. And now that she's dead, he said that he knew that she would see him fight.
The fight, one of 3 fights on the undercard of a women's bout, started shortly after sundown. Most of the first round was uneventful. No significant blows were exchanged.
And then, 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left, we got tied up in my corner, on my side of the ring. And he had my left arm tied up like this, so I hit him with 3 right hands to the body, into the ribs, But it wasn't very hard, because when you're tied up, you can't get full torque in your shots. And the bell rung. The referee says break. I take 3 steps back, and Brad's holding the ropes, just looking right at me. And about 2 seconds later, all of a sudden, look, he's fainting.
I saw that his right leg was twitching, and I realized pretty quickly that he was in trouble. I didn't know why. I couldn't figure out why, because nobody saw any punch. I hadn't seen it, and I asked other people, did I miss something? And they said, no, he just collapsed.
2 doctors at ringside tried to revive Rone. When their efforts failed, he was rushed to a local hospital, where he was soon pronounced dead. The presumed cause of death was cardiac arrest.
You're always told in boxing that that you possibly can die, or you can get hurt, but you just don't, Never expect it's gonna happen to you. Like, you're invincible, nothing's gonna happen to you, and nothing's gonna happen to your opponent. But when you see it, and the tragedy of somebody dying in front of you, it does affect you.
When Helen Ruffin heard a knock on her door after midnight, she assumed it was Rone back from the fight. Instead, it was Sean Gibbons with the news that her fiancé had died.
Oh, God, I never thought that he would tell me that. Jeremy, I like, and it keeps playing over and over in my head. But he told me, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. How could that be? How could he have a massive heart attack? He looked so good when he left the house. He looked great.
I remember just running through the house screaming, asking God, why did you do this to me? I never questioned God. I always accepted it's his plan. I don't have a say-so about it. But at that moment, I wanted to know why God had taken my mother and then my brother.
Thelma and Brad Rone, mother and son, were together again on July 25th at their funeral.
Round 4 came, another crushing blow. Brother is now gone to meet the Lord.
How do you think your mother's death affected your brother?
It was devastating. He couldn't handle it. He's a mama's boy. He loved his mother. He couldn't handle being here without his mother. And God took care of it for him. He doesn't have to be here without his mother. He's with his mother.
For years, Brad Rone toiled in anonymity. Now he's achieved the celebrity he sought by dying a boxer's death.
He died doing something he loved. He loved boxing, and this is, his fame right now. This is what he was going for, and he deserves it.
He could have died anywhere. Do you understand? He could have died at the apartment. He could have died walking down the street. He died in the ring, where now he's people who didn't know oh my God, who didn't know who he was. Let me tell you, they know him now.